All right, sweet. We are live. Let's go. Let's go. Um, I'm just gonna make sure it says it's live. I gotta get my phone going. Welcome in everybody to episode 8. I know a lot of people, it's their first SFA and Chill stream because we haven't done this in 3 weeks because of the off season. But welcome in, and I'm sure some of you just saw already, we have officially earned affiliate on Twitch, which means that Twitch ads will now run on our stuff. Some of you guys may be salty about that, but here's the deal, is that the plan is any revenue or anything made from the Twitch channel is going to be like reinvested into the server. Ideally, if one of you guys wins a national championship, I'm going to buy a trophy and send it to your house for you, engraved and everything. So that's one. And then also, potentially, like it's been talked about in the server, if you make the playoffs, maybe you get a jersey from one of your SFA players, stuff like that. So any money that's made from subscribing or bits or any of the crap that Twitch provides, that's what I'm going to do with that money. So yeah, and it's kind of bare bones right now. It's like, I think just ads. I'm working with somebody on Fiverr to design badges and the sub emotes and stuff that's like personalized and looks really cool. So hopefully I'll have that in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, being affiliate on Twitch is super cool, especially considering that like exactly 2 years ago almost, I joined the server, and it was just 4 of us, kind of dicking around on sim matchup, and it's gone to this. So pretty cool. But SFA and Chill podcast episode 8. Welcome in if you've never been here before. I'm here with
Well,
DogWater. Say hello.
so you mentioned the trophy, right?
Yes.
Dude, next time if a user wins a national championship, because I highly doubt this can be anytime soon, but if they do, I will personally get the trophy because I do it for fantasy every year, so I already have a place to get one from.
Perfect. Yeah, and then I can just pay for it. Um, yeah, that sounds sweet. Um, yeah, it's a super cool thing, and I don't think we're gonna make more than like maybe a couple $100 a season at the most. So why not just give it to somebody who puts in the work to get a winning team? Um, so yeah, if we have any like insane graphic designers in the server, if you want to be paid to make emotes or something, let me know. But yeah, so uh, Nick might join us a little later, but he just fell asleep, I guess. So first things first, I put up the New Year's 6 preview on the screen. I don't know why whoever made this graphic put Clemson in just purple and white. They must be fucking high, but that's besides the point. um, that's the worst graphic design ever. If you would choose to do that, don't talk to me. Um, but yeah, so if any of you guys didn't hear, college football playoff is Georgia, Michigan, TCU, and Ohio State. Do you have any gripes with what they did with the playoff?
I mean, yeah, but it was kind of unavoidable with USC losing like that. I don't believe in rewarding teams that don't play, so
Yeah, no,
I'd rather see USC in the playoff right now than Ohio State.
I mean, maybe if it was close. Like, didn't that game wind out up in a
I,
blowout?
I mean, it was a 20-point game, but Ohio
Yeah.
State lost at home like that to
Yeah.
Michigan. So it's like,
I think the reason Ohio State gets in is just because of the media bias. Like, before the Michigan game, everyone and their mother would have said that they would have beat Michigan by. If you heard the score, they would have assumed Ohio State's the one that beat Michigan, right? Um, I don't know. They have a great offense. The defense was super suspect, especially against the run. But in the grand scheme of things and what scenarios could have happened, like Alabama in, um, I'm fine with it. and I'm actually going to have to cheer for Ohio State. Unfortunately, it's kind of the same thing when Zeke was there, and they were the number 4 spot, and they beat Alabama, and then they like upset everyone. I don't know, kind of the same deal. I just think the matchups are better. I think TCU is more likely to be Ohio State than they are Georgia, and then I also think that I'd rather see a rematch of the game in the Natty instead of Georgia. Pretty much just SEC hatred per usual from me.
Yeah, dude. We all know Georgia's about to repeat this year. Holy shit.
Yeah, I mean,
Looking at this list, I don't see a single team here that I could confidently tell you is going to beat Georgia without question.
no, like for instance, last year's semi was Georgia and Michigan, and that game was horrible, right? They got blown out
Yeah.
immediately. It's like the same team. I don't know what anyone thinks is going to happen. Like, it might be 1 or 2 scores closer, maybe, because Georgia lost all that talent on the defense, but you still got fucking the senior citizen Stetson Bennett just being a game manager out there. Like, dude, he's the same age as Lamar Jackson. I don't understand that.
Yeah, I
He's the
know. He's the
same
same
age
age
as
as me.
me. Yeah, we're both born in 97. Like, I don't understand how the NCAA allows this fucker to still play. It's
Yeah, but
beyond me.
that's nothing compared to North Texas, dude. Their starting quarterback's going to be 30 before he graduates.
But isn't he like one of those Australians that's like older or whatever, or is that just
No, dude,
age?
he went minor league for baseball. So he never played in college. Like he went straight out of high school to the minors, but he never made it. So like he just left the minors and then he went to North Texas and now he starts a quarterback.
Yeah. But I mean, back to the playoff. The only whoever wins the Fiesta Bowl is who I'm gonna be voting for in the Natty. Like, hopefully it's TCU. It won't be. It's gonna be Michigan and Georgia. But you know, a boy
Yeah,
can
I
hope.
mean I think Michigan's going to get their playoff win and then I think Georgia's going to hang 50 on Ohio State. And Georgia's defense is going to hold Ohio State to like 20 points, maybe 30 in garbage time. But
Yeah,
it's gonna be Georgia,
I
Michigan
don't
in the actual.
I don't believe the hype in Stroud and Marvin Harrison Jr. I don't. Like, he's good or whatever, but eh. It's the Ohio State offense is always blown out of proportion.
Well, that too, and like Georgia may have only beat LSU by 20, but if anybody watched that game, LSU scored like the majority of their points in the fourth quarter of garbage time.
Yeah. Now, as far as the other games go, um, I might save my upset pick for a little later, but I think that probably, I mean, the Rose Bowl is going to be a lot of fun to watch. I think that will be close. I think the Orange Bowl will probably be close. It's basically 2 backup quarterbacks because DJU is transferring. Um, okay, McNasty saying he's the season 10 national champion. um, but and then USC, I think that will be a blowout, but everyone thinks Tulane is going to compete, which they probably will. And then
What?
my upset pick, I think Kansas State's going to blow out Alabama and prove they suck.
I don't know about blowing them out. I mean, I could definitely see Kansas State actually
Do
like,
you do
but
you actually think Bryce Young's going to play in this game? There's no chance.
well, he's coming back next year, ain't he?
Even so, he's not gonna play. I'm pretty sure he's eligible this year after the. Yeah, he is because he played last year. He won the Heisman. He was the backup to Mac Jones. Yeah, so this is his 3rd year. He'll be in the draft. There's no way he doesn't opt out.
Yeah, but I feel like we'd already seen if he was going to opt out, though, because they've been releasing hella people that have opted out. Like JSN, he said Georgia ain't fucking up his draft stock, so
Well,
he's
dude,
not.
he hasn't fucking played this year. Like, his draft stock is still the Rose Bowl from last year. Like, it can't get any higher. So, And he's going to get overdrafted, and he's going to be trash.
Really? You think Jason's going to be trash?
I mean, look at this year, dude. He had his breakout game in the Rose Bowl. Everyone hype him up. He's even on the cover of Revamped. And then, what's his stat line this year? Like, fucking 2 catches or whatever? Dude has a worse hamstring than Lou Ishire.
That's stuff to do now.
I know, dude. He's been out like the whole year. He's like Keenan Allen out there.
So his stats for 2022 were 5 catches for 43 yards.
There you go.
Yeah, but I mean, last year he did put up like 1,600 yards. So.
Yeah, but that's like his whole stat line this season is like a fifth of his Rose Bowl stat line.
Yeah, and then again, Ohio State plays an Austin P schedule, so.
Yep. So, did you have? I know you're upset about Florida State where they got picked for a bowl game, but do you have any major issues with any of the bowl stuff? I mean, I just can't wait for 2024. Personally, I think the system now is completely atrocious in all facets, but I think once we get to 2024, it'll be great.
Yeah, I mean, like I've kind of. I kind of lost interest in bowl season because of the playoffs. Like, the playoffs have just been...
That's what happened to everyone. Like, before, when it was just a national championship game, everyone's like, oh my god, I love all these bowls, you know, they're great. Even, like, the bigger bowls, right? They're always hyped. Now it's like, it's a huge consolation prize. And, you know, like, you're going to have guys opting out of the Orange Bowl and the Sugar Bowl, like, hanging their head. Speaking of hanging their head, how about Sleepy Nick?
Oh, what's
here?
up, guys? Hey, what's going on? Shit,
we were
sorry.
just talking about Tennessee losing to South Carolina.
Oh, you know, I'm pretty tired. I could probably just, you know, go back to...
Well, we were talking about, do you have any major issues or predictions for the bowl season?
Major predictions for bowl season? I don't know. I'd have to think about it. Let me think about it, but go ahead. Go ahead and pop off.
Well, we were about to go on to the next segment.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what? I think one of the teams in the top 8, I think, number 1, I think Tulane's going to win. I'm sorry to USC. Sorry, I know, but I mean, if you're gonna pop off, you know, it's like, shit. But so I think Tulane's actually gonna win and shock a lot of people. But I think there's another team who's like in that top kind of 8 who's gonna get just like obliterated by a team that they just, like, shockingly shouldn't get obliterated by.
Penn State's gonna kill Utah.
I could see it.
It just depends on if the run defense holds up for Utah or not. If it doesn't, I mean, Sean Clifford, he's not going to do anything, right? So, yeah, it's all about the run defense. But I could see Cam Rising shitting himself. I don't like that guy at all.
Well, I mean,
quarterback's out here.
No, he beat us twice, and he looks like a homeless man.
Like,
bro,
dude, his post game interview about Caleb Williams and wearing the "fuck Utah" on his nails. Have y'all watched that?
I don't care.
It's fucking hilarious. Dude.
I was a fan of Cam Rising in the Season 8 National Championship when he led Utah to an SFA natty, but not real life. No bueno.
I mean, dude, Cam Rising is USC's Chad Barber, dude. What do you want from him?
Yeah. God, that's...
Utah said, we're here to gatekeep, baby.
Even if we beat them in the regular season and then lost in the Pac-12 championship, we probably would have been in, or maybe at least not dropped to 10. Like, TCU loses in overtime, I get it. They were undefeated or whatever. They drop 0.
Well, it's because they also didn't have a loss yet.
Yeah. Well,
like, it matters that y'all had 2 losses.
Yeah.
Or it matters, yeah. I mean, like that matters. You know, it's like sucks, but it matters.
All right, well, let's move on to your bowl up season upset predictions. I've already touched on mine, so I'll say it again. I think probably Bryce Young opts out, and Alabama, they're kind of deflated, and Kansas State goes in there and rips them a new asshole and wins by 3 scores. And proves that they're an 8-4 team.
Okay.
And then
Give me Pitt over UCLA.
Okay, that's a good one. My other one is South Carolina. They're going to continue the hype, and Rattler is going to beat Notre Dame, who's a 3-point
Dude, Notre
favorite.
Dame's going to beat the fucking brakes off of South Carolina.
Yeah.
I don't think so. They're going to. I'm a Beamer. If I have
wait.
If I have to cheer for
Notre
an
Dame's
SEC team,
tight end. Notre Dame's tight end is sitting out of the bowl game because he's declaring
there you go.
that he's basically their entire offense right now. So.
Beamer ball, baby.
Beamer ball, baby. Ooh, Beamer ball. Yeah, I don't think so. I think Notre Dame still beats. I think Notre Dame wins by like 3 touchdowns still.
Okay. You would think that you'd want South Carolina to perform better, so your loss doesn't
I'm not saying that
shitty.
I'm not saying that I want them to lose. I'm saying that I think that's what's going to happen. I just don't think they're a very good team. I think Tennessee was just so off that day, and it wasn't even like our offense was off. Like we scored nearly 40 points before, like in 3 quarters. And if Hendon wouldn't have gotten hurt, like it would have been more. But our defense literally only stopped the ball 1 time because our leader on the defense was out unexpectedly, like the day before all of a sudden, and like people didn't even know he was out until the actual game, and so all of a sudden it's like they just looked awful. Like the defense just looked terrible, and then he came back for the Vandy game, and Vandy puts up 0.
Yeah,
it's like
I mean,
it's
a tough loss, but do you think there's any chance at any upsets in the CFP? Is there any possible scenario where Georgia doesn't boat race 2 Big Ten teams?
Yes, I absolutely think there is. I actually, bold take here, think that Ohio State and Michigan meet again.
I think that would be kind of cool to see, such like awesome rivalry in the championship game. And it would probably be a lot closer than the last game. I really want TCU to make it like in this era, the 14 playoff, there has not really been one of the quote unquote, Cinderellas or underdogs to actually win that first round game. So I feel like hopefully either this year or next year, maybe one of them could do something, but like the only lower seeds who ever seem to win is like an Ohio State who's out of 4, or or an Alabama. So
fair. Yeah.
TCU is the chosen one. Hail to the Hypnotoad.
Hypnotoad.
I mean, you got to feel bad for Cincinnati though.
Why?
Like from going from a playoff team and now they're going to play in Fenway. It's a drastic flip.
It's the life of a G5. You get that generational talent, or the lucky recruiting class where they all play like way above their normal level. Like Sauce Gardner in a G5, like that is super rare. And then they graduate and you're back to being a shitter. Like, now I will say there are G5s that can kind of strike gold. Like they kind of know the formula. The UCF, the Cincy, the Boise State. Like Boise State's on a down couple recruiting cycles, so they're probably going to get back up there soon. But here's a fun little thing. Who do you guys think is going to be the first G5 back in the playoff when it becomes an auto bid?
So probably Tulane right now.
No, it's definitely not going to be Tulane.
Yeah, no,
100% won't be the thing. Ooh, you know what? Let me think about this for a second. But I actually think it's going to be someone like UTSA or something.
UTSA could be good now. That quarterback they have, what's his name, Frank Harris?
Mhm.
I think he's declaring this year, so they might.
Yeah, I'm not saying that like he'll necessarily. Like, it's hard to it's so hard to pick that team because there's like 60, and it seems like I mean if you would have picked Tulane 2 years ago to be like as decent as they are now, like it would have been a pretty bold pick, right? Um, let alone a team that like actually gets into like the CFP. Like it's definitely something that's like extremely hard to predict.
Yeah, no,
Who's going to be like that good?
100%.
I mean, hear me out. Memphis is going to be really good next year, so.
Yeah. Seth Hennigaud. Dude, if Memphis somehow made the playoff with Seth Hennigaud, the world would fucking end.
What are you talking about, dude? Memphis is consistently a really good football team.
No, I know, but we would have to, like, go out there all with custom-made.
Are you fucking kidding me, dude?
Yeah,
if Memphis makes the playoffs, I'm gonna wear this oversized Hennigaud jersey, and I will be there.
It would be sick if like UConn was the team that actually did that.
Dude, I just want in real life, like in our lifetime, to see a super like high tier option offense. Not like the spread option, like read option, but like the triple option, Army or Air Force or Navy, to get back to where they were in like the 1940s and win a championship. How cool would that be?
I mean, it would be sick, but it would also just be like, I mean, I don't know, like to a certain point, and there may be a lot of disagreements here, but to a certain point, I look at those teams that do that, and I'm like, they don't deserve that shit. Like, what the fuck? Like, what's happening there? Like, that's bullshit. Like,
all that needs to happen, right, is you need a generational type talent. So we just need like a Derrick Henry to commit to Navy, and then they have like some semi-decent quarterback who can run and maybe make a few passes here and there, but just give it to Henry up the middle every fucking time. No one's stopping him.
Sure.
That's all we need is a 5-star running back to go to the Navy.
Hey, they almost got one. What was that running back that played for BC? This was like
Andre Williams.
Yeah, dude, he went to the Navy right after that. I was like, damn, you could have just went and played for Navy football. You'd fucking been a Heisman winner.
Like that Keenan Reynolds guy, the quarterback for Navy. Like they had some really good years. If they had like an elite running back, they could have done some damage maybe, because they got like eight wins.
Yeah, I tell you what, it's honestly pretty shitty football watching Navy and Army. But then you get drunk to watch that game. That's so fun to watch.
Dude, there's nothing better though than that Army-Navy game with weather.
Oh my god!
This is the greatest thing ever.
It is really funny whenever you think about it. Like if you have a few G5 schools on your team, you couldn't be more terrified if you're playing like Navy or like old school Georgia Tech. Like, you know what I mean? Like if you saw one of those, you're like, fuck. It's like you're like, God, I hate that so much, because you know that like it's something so different that it's like your team like. Your team has to play a completely different sport, basically. They want to figure out. I mean, so it's just it's so rough, but I think it's fun. It's fun to watch to a certain extent, just because like if it's a team that it's always like fun if it's a team that you don't like that's playing them, because like a lot of times it's just fun to watch how long it takes for them to like how long for it to figure it out.
Close, into like the second.
Excuse you. When I watch Army Navy, it's definitely go Navy. You know what the fuck you're talking about?
Oh yeah, for sure, go Navy. I have friends in the Navy, so absolutely. But all we need now in the new playoff is a 10-win Navy. If they can do it.
Jesus.
All right, let's move on. We're going to talk about fantasy football. For anyone who doesn't know, we run an SFA fantasy football. If you're around next season, the top 14 most active people get to play. So this is the current playoff picture currently. As it sits before we enter the final week, Jay Jettas and B-Dog currently have buys. Ron and Flame, and then Nick and Neil are in the last spots. Currently, Nick is in the last spot, and who's in 7th? Me. So I need to beat whoever I'm playing. I'm playing
Me.
DogWater. Yeah, I have to beat him, and I either have to hope for Nick to lose, or I just need to outscore him by 23 points. So it's going to come down to the end, to the wire, hopefully. But yeah, I mean, lots on the line. Like, if you make the playoffs, you get $75K bonus for recruiting next season, season 11. If you win, you get the 90 overall non-quarterback. And if you lose, you have to go to this toilet bowl thing where if you lose 3 in a row, then you lose one of your players to the transfer portal. So a lot is on the line. Not really
Unlucky.
for DogWater, but for everyone else. And I think everyone still has a path to the playoff because the lowest team is 5-8, and we're both 6-7. So if all the 6 and 7 teams lose, and you score a shit ton as a 5-8 team, I think there's a path. So DogWater, please sit your entire roster.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
Or we could just go 1 versus 1, Eckler versus one player of whoever you want. I will say, though, I should have beaten Skyflyer. The Lamar Jackson scoring 1 point is the most bullshit thing I've ever seen in my life. Against the Denver Broncos of all teams.
So
Well,
funny, though.
tell you what, it sucks for you, but Titans play Jacksonville this week. Got me Ryan Tannehill. He's going for 350.
Dude, there's nothing more frustrating than losing a matchup with the points to win on your bench. If I would have just started the Broncos tight end, I had that win last week. If I put Zeke in over Christian Kirk, which I was considering, I would have won. So, if I don't make the playoffs, I can't be salty. No one lost. It was all my fault.
Also, hot take, Mike Boone's about to do better than Eckler this weekend.
I mean, probably. He's playing me, so you guys all pop off when you're playing me. So.
What are you talking about? I played you week 1, and it was like 66-60 final score.
Okay, but that was when I had the shittiest roster ever drafted. Like, I drafted Allen Robinson, Chase Edmonds, like, all these shit stains. And somehow I traded them for a good team, but it's still probably not going to be enough. But if I fucking lose the shit bowl somehow, I'm going to be so salty.
They could lose him, like, baby.
Because I do not have the roster to be... I have... My team is so good on paper. Like, there's no reason, but who knows? We'll see. You guys have any... Who are you playing, Nick?
I am playing McNasty.
Great. So I need Derrick Henry to pop off for him.
Yeah, you really need Derrick Henry to pop off for him, but you really need CeeDee Lamb and Travis Kelce to not pop off for me. The fact that I have both of them, by the way, I actually kind of fleeced people towards the end of the season. The fact that I gave up so much for Travis Kelce, and it was so worth it.
Yeah.
Because it's like what did I even give up for Travis Kelce? I gave up. Oh, dude, I gave up Michael Thomas.
Yeah. You fleeced Ron on that one. I was trying to get Travis Kelce too, but he was asking just for too much for my team. He was asking for either Eckler or CMC.
Yeah, that is a lot. See, that's what I was able to convince him to take Jonathan Taylor, which Jonathan Taylor's been doing better the last little bit, but
he's fine.
I think I mean the significance of Travis Kelce is way bigger than the significance of Jonathan Taylor for the Colts. I just I mean, I just think it was better. So thank God.
Yeah, Coach Boer's chiming in. He's saying, as a Saints fan, Thomas is so annoying. We pay him so much and he never plays. Yeah, man, he's one of the biggest fleecers in the NFL.
Yeah,
Like
I have a
how do you
theory on
miss
him.
how do you miss a whole season with turf toe?
Yeah, I have a theory on him. I think here's what I think a lot of. I think this is what more. I think he's smart, and the reason I think he's smart is because I think this is what a lot of current NFL players are doing. Is that the right after having historic seasons, because he signed a contract right after he had his career receptions, season, and he signed a massive contract. And the thing about that is like he's not young. He's not like a super young guy. Um, he is still in pretty decent health in terms of like his overall thing. If you're looking at guys like Antonio Brown and you're looking at guys that like you see like Tua this year and stuff like that. To be honest, would you not also like if you feel like you've already made your mark in the league and you've already like kind of made your bag and everything like that? I personally, if I was still getting paid, I would do anything in my power to like not have to keep putting my body on the line if it meant that I was still getting paid. Honest to God, like think about that for a minute and just like you understand what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
it's kind of smart.
No, it is smart. Like the best job in the world, I don't care what anyone says, the best job is a backup quarterback. You get paid a shitload to do nothing. Like worst case scenario is you have to go in to finish a game or thrust into the starter, but then you get to play football for once. But yeah, no, like if you're these guys who like a lot of them come from, underprivileged backgrounds or whatever, and like they buy their house and then they buy some cars or whatever, their chains, and then suddenly, they're not like grinding anymore because they've made it to where they wanted to be, and so there's no reason to to keep grinding like that level. And yeah, like, and then you see guys like, and this is just in like basketball, Charles Barkley or Shaq, like they're like hobbling like as they walk when they're older, and that's just basketball, like a non-contact sport, really. So, the old guys in football, I'm sure, are like crippled, or like they got fingers bending the wrong way. They can't feel their feet or something weird.
Yeah.
So CTE, they kill their whole family. Typical stuff.
Jesus. I here's the thing, and Coach Bohr is talking about this right now, is that he's saying that kicker punter is better. I personally, people always say like, oh, backup punter would be. How many teams do you think have a backup punter on their 53-man roster? None of them. No one's keeping a backup punter. The Chiefs, they lost their kicker, and instead of like they literally in the middle of the game just put their safety back there, like one of their safeties who was like a high school kicker, back there to kick. Yeah, back there to like kick, and he was pretty decent at it, right? And so it's like I understand. I think kicker is such a high stress position because like you literally have to make basically everything or you lose your job.
Yeah,
and
like,
these are in like very tough situations. Punter, punter seems more leeway-ish, but it's still a pretty tough one. Like it's still like you have to be pinning balls deep, pretty much every time.
I think another fleecy position to play is long snapper. Like, because there's the rules where, like, you can't go at the long snapper, on a field goal or line up over the center or whatever. Like, the worst case scenario is you have to cover a punt, but you can just kind of fake it and get blocked, right? So,
yeah,
you just go out there, throw a ball back 20 feet, and, I mean, if you're good at it, you're not going to miss the snap a lot, right? So, it's pretty easy to keep that job, and you make a lot of money, so.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I would take that.
Oh, but yeah, also remember the thing about the punters, you got to hold the snap on the field goal. I don't know.
Is that the punter's job? Like, isn't that just like whoever can do it? Like, I don't think it's like
it's not designated anybody.
Yeah, I don't think it's designated anybody.
Quarterbacks doing it.
Most of the people do the punter though.
I mean, yes, I agree, but I'm just saying, like, it's not like as a punter, you're just automatically expected to do that. I think it's just because, punting, there's only so much to punting. Like, if you, as a quarterback, you're like learning, however many, like, 400 plays, right? Yeah. But like, as a punter, it's not like it's like, hey, fucking put him back there. You know, there's not much you're like really having to. So I could see them making the punter because they probably have the least to mentally have to prepare for. Where I think that's something that they could easily like fit into their regimen. That's probably why.
All right, let's transition to SFA talk finally. We didn't get to do a season 10 kind of preview or anything because we had the roster video last week. But anyone want to talk about their... Let's start with Niick first. You're on game day. How did you feel about your game and your performance?
You know, I started thinking about it, and I was like, what's the reason that I'm starting Cardale? Because I think overall, honestly, like Kansas is not a bad team, but I do think that on both sides it was a disappointing game, and Kansas outscored us, or outgained us on the day pretty heavily. I think we were really lucky that the defense stepped up whenever they did. But I think that we having 0 second half points, I definitely needed to make a change on offense. And here's the thing about, like, I feel like for like this kind of, you know, that kind of offense, I was looking at it, and basically every position is very solid. And I think whenever you have an offense full of really solid dudes, I think you have to get it into the hands of those guys, and I don't think Cardale can do it that well. Whereas I think Luke can, which is why I made the change. I think he can do it better, right? And so that's why I made the change. We'll see how it goes. I'm doing a little bit of the Harbaugh, you know, 2 quarterbacks, 2 games kind of deal. See how I like each of them. But, you know, like we were talking about, it is, you know, that week where you play the triple option, so you're terrified, you know. So coming up for that this week. But I mean, overall, I wasn't disappointed in the game. I think I was just like, I just know that we are so much better than what we put out there, and our defense showed that we're really good, but like we just got to figure it out on offense. If we figure it out on offense, we're golden. And I think our offense is too talented for us to have a game like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think your rush offense was great. You know, you did exactly what you needed to do, but just like you said, Cardale, he didn't throw the ball all that much, and when he did, it was just checkdowns. So, like, you have really good wide receivers against, like, it was like maybe mid to low 80s corners on Kansas. I don't know. That's kind of disappointing for me, and especially when you're gifted 3 interceptions. Only putting up 7 total offensive points was definitely scary. And I think obviously you got outgained, but the time of possession was super, super imbalanced. I don't know the exact number, but like it just felt like Tennessee never had the ball.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, I think the change is definitely needed, especially against Georgia Tech, who is probably going to dominate time of possession again. And I think your line kind of showed that, at least on the tackles, that you can protect pretty well. So Lou Ishire probably isn't going to be taking all that many hits. But the matchup to watch, though, is 5-star freshman Michael Orr on the left tackle is going to be faced up with the BearCave player Chandler Jones. So watch out for that.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see the matchup because I think it will be a good one. I just think that we our defense as well, just our formation, especially, like I don't want to change it all too much, but I think a 3-4 is a good defense against that triple option. No, I'm gonna keep the 3-4. I feel pretty good about the 3-4 against the triple option. And then I'm trying to kind of have a more I'm trying to get the offense as balanced as possible because again, I think like our running back being as good as he is, and in the pass, and everybody in the passing game being as good as they are, I think they can have a pretty even split of time, and I really want to try to balance that as much as possible, because I think that like if you can't expect what's coming next, and every single way that we can do it will punch you in the throat, I think you just kind of have to be as unpredictable as possible at that point. Like I think if you're just the more unpredictable with that much talent, the better. And I think if you can just kind of get it down the field every which way which we can, it's just gonna be the way to do it.
All right, DogWater, let's talk about your game and how you got fisted by Georgia Southern. Any comment?
I mean, like this is gonna sound like straight copium. It's just like the honest truth is when I watched the roster video, dude, like I knew this year was gonna be bad because it like 70% of my starting players are freshmen.
Yeah, I mean, but you're at home. You still have
Yeah,
the
I
overall
didn't expect it to
advantage
be this
on.
bad. Don't get me wrong.
You have the overall advantage, and I mean the first half was fine. They got a late touchdown with 14 seconds left to take the lead, so it was 21-7 at half. But in the second half, I mean he scored like 3 touchdowns like instantly, and you're down 21 and getting blown out. So I forget who you told me to start. Is it McLeod who's starting now? For sure.
Yeah, well, so McLeod started that game and he put up 14 points. And then I put Gunnar Cruz in the second half. I just wanted to, like, we were already losing. So I was like, you know what? Let me just see how he does. And he did even worse. So I'm just going to put McLeod.
Well, hopefully you and I both have 2 bye weeks, so back to back. So you can keep grinding the practice field while I'm over here in Cabo with the boys, waiting to
Celebrating that 3-point win over Buffalo.
Hey man, rivalry game. It's a preseason game. It's always closer than it should be, right? I'm not going to read too much into it. I'm happy with the defensive performance on like the gameplay sim because he had 2 golden opportunities to drive down and win, and we held. And he had 1 great throw to move the ball, but other than that, Arch didn't really do shit. And I'm happy with the BearCave performance because last year, obviously, all 4 of my losses were on BearCave. So we got a dub on BearCave. I can't be salty. I'll take it.
I mean, you just took playing Buffalo.
Well, yeah, absolutely. If I start getting blown out, then I'll be sad. But you know what? 1 win down, 11 to go. That's all I'm going for. Now, the other big upset of the week was Baylor losing to Minnesota. I don't really think I can call this an upset. I mean, we see this every year with Baylor. They lose the first matchup.
I still think it is.
Time and time and time again. I mean, this time it's not. It's a better opponent. It's not SMU. But the one thing that may cause me to hit the panic button this year, as opposed to last year, is that they lost star freshman All-American safety Jamal Okiki the 7th, the Nigerian night animal. He has 99 hit power. He just swallows up all the tackles, and he's out for the year. So
Oof.
I might be a little scared now.
Yeah, I mean,
go ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah. I mean, I think like the thing that it feels different is that SMU wasn't a bad team last year. Like they weren't like a shitty team. I mean, I want to say they went somewhere around like an 8-4, and maybe they were definitely above 500 because they were even ranked at one point in the year. I think that like the thing about this that feels so much different is the fact that it literally wasn't a game. I mean, there was a point where, let's see, first quarter, you're looking at Baylor 14 at the end of the third quarter. I think that it
was close at halftime, and then Minnesota came out and blew the doors off them.
Yeah, I mean it was not all that close, and again, you were talking about like with the injury and everything. It's gonna be a long season for Baylor, and I really, you talked about it last year, and like we thought, oh, well, they're not going to go to the, but they did, and they always have done this. But for whatever reason, it feels different. But it's like so hard to say that for sure because every year they do this. I just think it's like it's due for them not to go.
And for Boar, you're asking the question: how many losses can you still take and still have a shot at the playoff? For an at-large bid, you're not going to get in with more than 2 losses. But if you win your conference, you can get the auto bid with 3 losses or 10 wins. So you can have 3 mistakes, preferably in the non-conference, and then run the table in your conference games. That's kind of what Baylor normally does. They shit the bed, and then they own their conference. So we'll see. He does have a lot harder of a non-conference schedule than normal. I mean, last year he had Washington, who he lost to as well. I think their saving grace, though, is I don't think Kansas State is going to be all that good this year, who's really their only competition in the division. Kansas is probably still a few years away, and then I don't think any of the other Texas teams are all that good this season. So that might be his saving grace. But then again, I think Iowa State is probably a little bit better at this point.
I really think Kiko turns it on this year. I thought he was going to do it last year, but I think Iowa State has a pretty good chance of like making a playoff run this year. To be honest, I really like Kiko. He kind of fell off at the second half of the year, but I think like more experience, better quarterback now. What's Kiko's overall? Does anybody know?
Low 80s.
Low 80s, really? That's it?
Because he was a 79 last year. I think he's actually. I think he went up to an 84.
Wow, he feels better than he.
Yeah. So
I mean, like even with like Iowa State, Kiko was never their problem, dude. That defense was terrible.
Yeah, dude. They're like putting up 50 points a game and then giving up 60. Like, but
yeah.
he's brought in the linebacker. So. Yeah, players do go up and down in this game throughout the season on hot and cold streaks. I don't dictate those. That's the game that dictates them. So, yeah. Anybody else have anything crazy about week 1 that they saw? Watch out for Colorado. With their backup quarterback, they still hung like 50 on Colorado State, even though Colorado State is a shitter. But watch out for Colorado. I think they probably should be ranked. My former team, so
I think I put him in my rankings. I believe, anyways. Maybe I didn't. I thought maybe I put him like 23-ish.
Yeah,
they just had such a good game the other day.
Yeah, dude. The rankings are so weird at the beginning of the season because, like, I feel like there's so many teams I need to rank just because of the hype. But then balancing that with what you see in the first 2 weeks against bad opponents, it's like this week there's going to be some teams that win like 60-0 over FCS, and then other teams that barely beat the FCS, and there's going to be no way to tell who's actually good or not. So, but that leads us into Season 10 hot takes for you guys. I posted this last week, my preseason predictions, and kind of really the only hot take I have on here is Penn State winning the national championship, or at least winning the Big Ten. That's my all-in this season. I guess Bo Wallace is kind of a hot take for SFA Player of the Year. But do you guys have any hot takes on either a conference championship other than yourselves, or like a playoff team or a Heisman or something?
I mean, I picked Ole Miss to make the playoffs.
I'll take that as a hot take because he had a really bad year last year. It looks like he has the team on paper. He did make the SEC championship 2 years ago, so.
Ooh, I actually like Boar's prediction of 2 users in the Natty.
Yeah, that's the prediction I had up here too. But Baylor's not looking too hot.
Oh, you did have 2 users in the Natty. Holy shit.
Yeah.
I 2 users in the. You had how many? You had what? Fucking 5 users in the playoff?
Yeah, 5 users in the playoff. Then Miami, Georgia, and Ohio State. I think Miami, Georgia, and Ohio State are good picks still. I mean, we haven't seen them play. Obviously, I got to pick myself.
Right.
But, dude, I'm going to lose to Cincinnati. If I face Cincinnati in the AC championship, there's no way I win. It's
Okay.
just I'm just destined to lose to them.
Yeah, I mean, you did pick yourself over them, and I'm seeing that now. Yeah,
Yeah.
you should have never done that.
No.
You should have just said it the
I
other way
know
around. So that
I'm gonna get clowned. Absolutely.
Yeah,
yeah,
because he picked Memphis to lose in the conference championship game preseason for last season.
yeah. Glad you didn't go too overboard and put yourself in the natty. My God, you put yourself at 3.
I did
God
put
bless you.
myself in the natty last year though. And
Did you?
yeah. So hopefully I make the playoff this time. Last year my pick was Ohio State beating me in the natty. This year I'm picking Penn State beating Baylor, so we'll see. So for sure one of those two will make the natty based on my predictions from last year.
Okay. I think that at least 4 users make the playoff. I think the quality of team and the fact as many as we have right now in the top 25, I think there will be 4 users that make it. I think though that should I just say I haven't really thought about it, but I'm thinking about like what are my 4 most likely users to make it. And I think the 4 most likely users to make it are as follows. I think Florida State does it. I think Ole Miss does it as well. I actually do think Ole Miss gets into the playoffs somehow. I think that they could get in even with like 2 losses. I mean, they could lose 3 and still get in, right? If they won the conference. I actually think Ole Miss makes it in. I think Penn State makes it in. And I think Iowa State makes it in. Those are my 4. I think Iowa State gets in there.
Iowa State. All right.
Yeah. I actually think Iowa State gets in there.
Who are the other ones? Ole Miss and who else?
Ole Miss, Penn State, and who else did I say? Florida State.
Florida State, yeah. I mean, I think Penn State's probably is kind of a really hot take. Because I don't think I have them winning the division, but I don't think they will. I think Ohio State's still just a little bit too good, and that division once again is going to be hell.
Fuck, you have them winning the Natty.
I know, but it is a hot take. It's definitely a hot take, which I'm going to be right on.
Then what are we talking about? You're like, I don't know.
Well, I don't.
I mean, yeah, you don't, but I'm just saying that, like, it is funny because you're like sitting here and you're like, that's a pretty bold one that they're gonna make, but also they're winning it all.
I agree with you. It's like I think it's gonna happen, but also I could be extremely wrong. I just like any hot take, really. I guess I don't know. DogWater,
True.
hot take.
I mean, I have Ole Miss. I think Ole Miss wins the Natty this year.
Okay.
That is a big.
We don't need. Dude, the SEC is going to do the same thing. They're just going to beat themselves over and over again.
Yeah,
I disagree.
But there's going to be a team that makes it out of that. I don't think Georgia's going to be that team this season. I think it's going to be Ole Miss.
I think that the SEC is going to have more than 3 teams in the top 12 this year. At some point, I'm not saying that they'll end up with that, but I'm saying at some point in the season there will be 3 SEC or at least 3 in the top 12. At least 3. Maybe I think 4 though. I think there will be 4 teams in the top 12 at some point. 4 SEC teams in the top 12 at some point.
Interesting.
I mean, there's already 3 right now. To be fair.
Well, yeah. I mean, but all right, let's go on to the next thing because it's that we're going to answer this question literally this week. We got Ole Miss against Georgia. So you guys think this winner of this wins the SEC?
Yeah, at least yeah. I'd say that.
So both teams had close wins. Ole Miss won on a last-second field goal against South Carolina. We don't really know how good they are this year. They're probably the most hot and cold team in the SFA. And then Georgia didn't barely. They beat LSU by 8, but it took a goal line stand at the end to secure it. I don't know. Georgia has an SFA player at quarterback. A lot of the same players. A replacement for Brock Bowers with Lorenzo Pines. I don't know. I think Georgia will win, and I don't think it'll be that close.
I also actually think Georgia will win this game, to be honest. And I know I just said Ole Miss gets in. I still think Ole Miss gets in to the playoff. The reason is, it's like this game. Okay, as much as we don't want it to matter, it does matter that this game is early in the season.
Yeah.
And it does matter that this game is against two really good teams. I think if you lose to a really good team early in the season, by the time playoffs roll around, the win either way doesn't. It's almost inconsequential. I don't think this game really matters in terms of the whole playoff picture. I think it could, but I think there's a very low chance of it actually mattering, even if both of these teams are kind of on that fringe.
Yeah, it will just be like when we're comparing resumes at the end, it's going to be one of those wins that could matter, but a loss to them will not, really, unless it's like your third loss, right?
Yeah.
The thing that scares me about this Ole Miss team is they have the offense. They have Fitzpatrick, who's 99. They have fast running back. They have two really good wide receivers in Boozler and Acuna, and they have a good tight end. But the problem is their defense. They have a shitload of SFA players, but they're not progressing. They're like mid to low 80s at the cornerbacks in the secondary. So middle linebackers as well. D linemen are all mid 80s. Like, he doesn't have an elite defender like a David McCormack we saw kind of take over for Kansas last week. So that's my problem with them. I think that they'll score some points, but it'll kind of be like the Tennessee game last year against Georgia, where Tennessee just can't stop them.
Okay. Interesting.
That's my take.
I could see it. Yeah, I mean, Ole Miss's defense isn't like, anything to write home about. I just think like they will. I feel like this year's SFA Ole Miss is going to be like this year's IRL Tennessee, where they're going to be able to score points like crazy because they have such a good quarterback and like really good weapons on offense. But it's like, can you also just like score enough to keep up with the other team? Absolutely, like like just shredding your defense. And I think that's the thing about Ole Miss is they'll probably drop like two, but it's like you can't drop really. Like, this game is fine to drop, but if you drop another one that's like really questionable, then that's the game that matters. This game, that's why I say this game doesn't matter too much in terms of the grand scheme. Whatever other game, if they drop another like pretty tough one, then I think like that's whenever we start looking and like, So
yeah, whoever loses this game is going to have to start clenching their cheeks a little bit in the, against like the Vanderbilts and the. Because everyone gets at least one gimme where it really doesn't matter who you lose to unless it's like an FCS team. So it'll be a fun game. I feel like it'll be high scoring. Yeah, hopefully. Yeah. I mean, last year it took us like 4 weeks to get a game with over like 30 points. So we'll see it. And then they started popping off. So we will see. You guys have anything else on the Georgia Ole Miss matchup? I have Georgia winning by a touchdown.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I probably have Georgia winning by like a touchdown. It's definitely a one-possession game. I would say a field goal, but I think it's a one-possession game. And I think I would say the over-under on this game would probably be like mid-70s. I think it's going to be pretty high-scoring.
No, so the way this game is going to end to me, whoever has the ball last is going to kick a last-second field goal to win this game.
Okay. I mean, they both do have capable kickers in this situation. So this isn't one where they're going to be going for it a lot. I think anything inside a 45-yard field goal, they'll kick.
Yeah. Okay.
So, all right. Any thoughts on Thursday Night Football? I don't even know who's playing, to be honest.
Yeah, I have no idea. I'll be honest.
It's Raiders and Rams. Raiders are up 7-0, so we all know the Raiders are going to win. Mayfield is active tonight, but Wolford is starting.
Rams?
Yeah, that's disgusting.
Can you imagine?
Dude, imagine going to SoFi on a Thursday night to watch Baker Mayfield in a Rams jersey. That's just gross.
I just saw Ice Cube and Mark Davis sitting next to each other, so that's pretty fucking actually
Nice.
disgusting. I don't know what is that. Sure. Anyways, but yeah. So I think that this game is not going to be anything like crazy. I think the Raiders just win easily. Who knows? Their biggest weapon is, I think that the biggest thing about this game is that their biggest weapon is Josh Jacobs, and you've got a pretty insane defensive line for the.
Well, for fantasy
Rams, so.
For fantasy football, this game does matter a lot because Pinstripe does have the Derek Carr, Devontae Adams stack, so he needs them to pop off. Because if we both lose, then he just needs to outscore us, or he just needs to win. Do you have any players playing tonight?
I don't. McNasty does. McNasty has Cam Akers and the Rams defense.
Oh, fuck. All right, well, I'm screwed then. Why start Cam Akers, dude? Like,
because his bench is fucking awful.
I know, because he chose to trust my draft, even though I offered him like an arm and a leg for Derrick Henry.
Well, I mean, Derrick Henry's his best player, so.
Yeah.
And his quarterback's even questionable to play.
I need Amra St. Brown to pop off, however you pronounce it.
Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Amon-Ra. We have a new recruit whose name Amon-Ra. It's Amon-Ra Leuha.
It's not like, stop saying it like one word. It's Amon-Ra.
Amon-Ra. Don't tell me how to pronounce words, theater. God. Yeah.
I don't need to hear it.
Except I've never heard of like Cheerwine or any of this other stuff. You get like, you Easterners have all sorts of crap that we don't have in the West.
Hey, well, listen, I'll send you a care package.
Cheerwine is so fucking overrated. I hope you're listening to this.
That
drink is dog shit. It's like drinking knockoff Cherry Coke.
Okay, but like Cherry Coke's pretty good.
Yeah, but imagine drinking a knockoff of it. That's not pretty good.
So it's like, the K-Supers like brand or whatever, yeah. Oh, you guys don't have King Supers, awkward.
Yeah, what the hell is it? You're talking about all these weird things that we have. What the fuck is
It's just a grocery store. Like the knockoff.
Do you have Harris Teeter?
A what?
Okay.
Harris Teeter.
I do not have a teeter, no.
It's just
have you guys ever eaten a Tim Hortons?
Okay, I know of Tim Hortons. That's in Canada.
Yeah, it is. I had Tim Hortons. I had Timbits from Tim Hortons.
I think the ones that you guys all talk about that's weird to me is like you talk about Moe's or pubic or Publix sandwiches.
Publix?
Or Publix?
You mean Publix?
Whatever. I don't know. We don't have it over here.
Why do you say these words like they're just crazy? Like Moe's or Publix? Mo and public. Like what? Like these aren't hard words.
I mean, the Publix is a little hard. It has an X at the end.
So that makes you go automatically thinking a company's going to name themselves Publix?
Yeah. I mean, shit, dude. People name themselves weird stuff. All right. Anybody have any other things they want to say before we sign off?
Not really. I'm excited for the season. I think the Vols are going to be crazy. I think we actually. Oh my God, Baker Mayfield's going on the field. All right. Well.
Oh, cool.
It's kind of hype.
All right. Last thing I'll say is you weren't here. I don't know if you noticed, but our Twitch is now affiliated, which means we get to run ads and stuff. So, yeah, that's cool.
Run ads.
We'll run ads, and then there's like channel points, so we can run predictions. If anyone wants to suggest like what we should use with the channel points, that's cool. I am working with somebody on Fiverr already to get us some cool badges or emotes or whatever, so that'll be fun. Nick subs with Twitch Prime. Let's go, our first ever sub. Let's go. I'm gonna sub with my Twitch Prime as well on next.
Why are you paying someone to make emotes? I've just talked to me, my man.
Do you want to try to make emotes? Because I had McNasty try, and he said his were disgusting, and then I tried and I made a racist football. Apparently,
it would never. It would not be. It would not be the first, nor second, nor third channel emotes I've made. Or
Nick, if
for
you wanna,
a channel.
If you want to make emotes for us, absolutely, and I will give you all the hype, and I would even pay you with whatever sexual favors, however you want to go about it. I'll send you feet pics.
Okay, you know what? I think we can make something work here. I think.
All right. We'll DM. I don't want to get hit with a sexual harassment charge on here, but
yeah, surely. Okay.
On the cops right now.
All right. Last thoughts. Watermelon flavored condoms. Thoughts.
You know, it's a nice little snack if you don't have much else going.
Now, other question: have any of you guys ever had edible underwear?
No.
Is it good or no? I haven't tried.
I just said no.
Yes, and it is not good.
Okay.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it sucks. It's like eating stale fucking what are those? The Swedish fish.
DogWater, have you gotten your chips in the mail yet that we ordered?
No,
I haven't gotten mine either. They should get here in time for Christmas though, because they said they shipped. So.
Yeah, no, but I think it was like a month was the expected shipping.
Well, yeah. Hopefully they'll be here by Christmas. I got them for my brother, so we'll see.
I'm not excited to try that shit.
No, I'm not excited to try them. And do you know what we're talking about, Nick?
What? Sorry, I was not paying attention. Baker Mayfield just threw the fuck out of somebody.
We ordered chips from where are they from? Europe?
I think like Lithuania or some shit.
Lithuanian potato chips that are flavored like a women's nether region.
Okay. Sure. I'm good. You guys enjoy.
That's a good idea, Boar. Maybe if you get enough channel points, I will guarantee you game day. That's potentially a good one.
Ooh, that would be a good one. It'd be kind of hard to get though. You'd have to
until we're watching fucking Buffalo and
and FCS.
Fucking UTSA play a fucking game day.
I mean, I maybe guarantee you a BearCave. I think that's more. I don't know. I'll think about that stuff. Nick, if you want to help me, let me know.
Yes, sir.
All right. So we're going to sign off. This will be available on YouTube right after this. It'll take a few minutes to process. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. And games are going to be Saturday morning at a regular time. Like it's going to be like 8 or 9 my time. So 11 or 12 everybody else is on Saturday. So look forward to that. And then right now recruits are going to happen right now. So not SFA recruits, the in-game update.
Let's go.
So yeah, we'll see who's going to Tennessee.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Plot twist, no one.
All right, hey, pull it up. I'm excited to see it. How many people do you think you're going to ECU? How many people do you think are going to Arizona? Okay. Probably less combined than Tennessee.
That's true. Bitch. I'm not on any of their radars. DogWater's on 1, and then I think you have like 5 that you're on their radar.
Yeah, so I need you all to shut the hell up.
Look here, motherfucker. All right.
What?
No,
say
bullshit.
something.
I'm gatekeeping everybody in the SFA recruits. Fuck off, you.
All right.
Okay, we'll see. I put out a very solid pitch for someone this week that I wasn't initially going to go after, but I was like, fuck it. I need to get an instant difference maker next year. So we'll see.
Oh no.
We'll see.
I put some offers out there now.
Nick, did you recruit it all yet, or no? You're kind of waiting.
I have a pipeline. School. One of my pipelines is out there. One of my pipeline states.
Okay.
I'm not saying anything other than that.
All right. All right. Well, thank you guys for watching, and we will talk to you later.